Welcome to Seaton Speaks. We're starting a new series here this week where we are talking about the dumbest criminals of the week. That is right. And joining us today, I couldn't think of a better person to start off this week than Ms. Alia Graham. Thank you for joining us on Seaton Speaks.
Hey. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So let's jump right to it. We're going to jump right to our top 3 dumbest criminals. Bartlett teacher pours liquid nitrogen on the student's chest and groin area.
Absolutely.
What's going on in Bartlett?
I think the man is reaching or has reached his senior status. He's tired, and that the boy he poured it on, he probably was so glad he volunteered. Like, yes, I finally get to burn holding this little mofo.
But just so that everyone can see this, just really quickly, this is. Can you see that screen, Alia?
I can.
The video shows this woman this scientist that's putting something into a canister of liquid nitrogen and has on rubber gloves and is handling it with scissors.
And safety equipment. He knew the damage he was gonna do. I feel like he knew this probably was not his first year teaching. And I'm telling you, the man was probably tired. He like, the hell with these kids. And he's like, I'm gonna make an example out of this little kid, because why else? Otherwise, you just genuinely stupid. And how'd you get your teaching degree in the first place?
We're gonna move on from there because our stupid teachers are all over the place. Number 2. Young man, 13 years old in Chicago, is arrested for carjacking. He carjacked 2 people on 2 consecutive days. What's going on with these kids in Chicago and this carjacking? And what made a kid go out and carjack somebody one day and then go out the very next day and do it a second time?
Well, Dave, you know how I feel about the youth, and you know, our ideas differ a lot when it comes to that. While not the smartest thing, maybe, you know, at 13, I can't blame a kid. I can only blame his parents.
And guess what? I agree with you on that. I'm not necessarily blaming the 13-year-old, but what I will say is, in the story, they went out of their way to say, oh, we can't show a picture or disclose this child's name because he's a juvenile. So how about we put the picture of the parents and their names in the paper? How about that?
I mean, it's not going to negate the fact that this little boy out here robbing people. Like, yeah.
But maybe if we shame the parents, they'll do something better with these kids. Maybe.
We could go on for hours about that, Dave, because
Okay,
I just feel like his father's probably not in his life. His mother's probably overworked or self-indulging and does not have the time to take care of him because she's doing her own thing, whether it be working or partying or whatever the case. She's probably only 14 years older than him. Okay. I'm just saying, we can go on and on
that's
about
a dire picture you just painted right there.
Hey, the truth is the truth, you know. Otherwise, like, why? You do have kids who come from very prominent families and they still want to be hood, but you know, some things are just.
We do need to demystify this sense of excitement around being hood and breaking the law.
Exactly.
Okay. See, we agreed. See.
Okay, we agreed. All right. This is the first. Somebody should write that down.
And then number 1, our last one. Man out in Joliet. Story says this man was from Chicago. He was out in Joliet. Goes to a gas station. He sees somebody who left their car running and went inside to grab something, to buy something or whatever. So he jumps in the car, drives off. That's not the bad part of the story. The bad part of the story is that he stopped and asked a police officer for directions.
Okay, now he is ranked number 1.
Yeah, he's number 1. That's why he's number 1.
Okay. He is ranked number 1 because why? Why would you do that?
because the police officer gave him the directions and then realized that the car was stolen. So they went and picked him up. But here's what I picture though. The article says the guy's from Chicago. So I picture he rode out to Joliet with somebody. He didn't know where he was.
And they left him.
They left him, or they were taking too long. He saw a car, jumped in it. He was like, "Where the hell am I?"
You know what?
There's a cop.
That sounds like a feasible story. At least he didn't go in and ask directions and then go steal the car.
So the lesson of this story is, if you go into a part of town you don't know, don't steal a car and then ask a police officer for directions to get back to your hood.
And we in the wrong time for that. You got a cell phone right in your hand, I'm sure.
His GPS wasn't working, I guess. Maybe he got Metro PCS or something, and it didn't work out in Joliet. I don't know.
All right, I could take that. Maybe the battery died. I don't know.
Battery might have died. Hey, because he was riding in the car with somebody. He was like, man, you should have charged your phone before I picked you up. You knew where you was coming. You know how we do.
So now he can't even call an Uber, hence still in the car.
And still in the car because the Uber didn't work and his credit card probably wasn't on there. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. Again, that's our top 3 for this week. Join us every week on Seaton Speaks. We're going to do the top 3 dumbest criminals every week. Because every week I see dozens of stories about dumb criminals. Yeah. And this week I couldn't take it anymore. I just had to do it. Alia, you have an organization. Tell our listeners and our watchers about your organization.
All right. Well, the name of our organization is Head Up Inc. We are a nonprofit certified 501c3 organization. Right now, we're in the fundraising stages. So we are looking to advance the careers of minority men in professional settings. You can check our website out at www.headupinc.org.
Loving that, giving back to the community. And again, you always have events, for fundraisers. You just had a skating event, recently. There was a lot of fun. So, so we're going to have you back so you can talk about your organization in more detail. But that's the end of this episode this week for Dumbest Criminals of the Week. Join us. You can also hear me on Friday nights on WVON 1690 AM, The Talk of Chicago, on the Buchanan and Seaton Show from 9 p.m. to midnight. So check us out there, and make sure you come back every week so you can hear about the week's dumbest criminals.
All right.